Hey everybody, my name's Ed. Okay, it's been a couple of weeks since I've put up any type of like haul video or anything like that. I've just been really busy with like work and real life stuff and stuff like that. This is going to be kind of a short haul. Didn't get too many things this week. Just got a few things, and that'll be the first part of this video. The second part of this video is going to be kind of a rant, and it's kind of like a, for lack of a better word, petty internet social media beef type thing. So if you're not interested in that, just when I'm done with the comics, just in the video and uh, just watch the next video. Next video will be back to comics or whatever. But got some Fosters. Cheers. Refreshing on a nice hot day. Okay, so what we got here, I got Hawkman #1. I'm eager to get into this. It's the writer is Robert Venditti, and the penciling is by Brian Hitch. Um, Brian Hitch was doing some really amazing art back in the late, um, I would say during the 90s and early 2000s, but it seemed like over the last few years, his art had gotten very rushed looking, and the rendering would be on point, but sometimes the anatomy was slightly off, or the composition was off, and yeah, and his work just wasn't as good as it was like some years ago. But flipping through this, the art looks really nice, so I'm looking forward to this. Plastic Man. I got the Amanda Connor variant, and this is the Steven. I can never pronounce his name, but you know what I'm talking about. Steven Sijek variant. This is the guy who does Sunstone. He does some really nice art. He was doing. He did a nice couple of issues of Aquaman as well. But anyway, Plastic Man is written by the new Plastic Man is written by Gail Simone, and the art is Adriana Milo, I guess. Um, Kind of interested in this as well. Gail Simone has got a lot of fans. She's been kind of like hit or miss for me, and then some of the projects she takes on are just, not that there's anything wrong with them. They're just not stuff I'm interested in normally. But Plastic Man is another one of these characters that DC bought from. Did they buy them from? I can't remember who published it. It was either Quality Comics or Fawcett Comics. I want to say Quality Comics back in the 70s. Somebody who knows, please please correct me or whatever. But he's a character that seems like DC has kind of struggled to make fit in their regular superhero universe. He's always kind of this tongue-in-cheek comedy character, and I guess the whole approach. It's the same thing with Shazam, Captain Marvel. Like the whole approach doesn't necessarily vibe with the serious, drama that's going on and stuff like Batman or Superman. And I think in the past they were never able to get that right balance with Shazam between, lighthearted and serious. And I think they had the same problem with Plastic Man, who's inherently a silly, goofy character. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm really interested in seeing uh, what they do with this, this take here. So okay, I got the Magic Order, Mark Millar and Oliver Coipel. Um, Mark Millar, another guy that when he tries, he can actually write a good story. But a lot of times he's not really trying, you know. He's he's doing these comic books that are really just disguised movie pitches, you know. But like I said, he's when he works at it, he can actually do some good writing. But a lot of times he doesn't. He comes up with these good ideas, and then that's all they are. You know, they're not really fleshed out stories. But he always works with amazing artists. So if nothing else, we're gonna get some really cool visuals out of this. This actually looks nice right here. So okay, all right. And I got a few back issues. I got Conan 178. This is from, I don't know what year this is. It's got to be the early 80s just judging by the price. This looks like John Buscema art on the cover here. Oh, hey, here. It's 19, I'm looking at the copyright and the ad on the back. It's 1985. And look, quick. What are these? GoBots? GoBots were these toys. They were kind of like Transform. Well, I don't know. I don't know if they were part of the Transformers universe or not. I'm not 100% certain. But, okay. Let's see who did the inside art. I'm sure it was John Buscema. Oh, wow. No credits on the splash page. Oh, here we go. Here's the credit page. Story. Haha, interesting. Story Jim Owsley. Breakdowns John Buscema. Finishes Ernie Chan. Jim Owsley is the name Christopher Priest used to use when he first got into comics. So, haha. Alright. Then I got this. Tarzan Family presents Cork. This looks like it's giant 50 cent. So this has got to be mid 70s, right? This art looks like it's Joe Kubert. Let's see. Maybe it'll be fun to do a walkthrough with this one. Not today, of course, but let's see. You got to say, you got a interesting little splash here. Song of the Dolphin. The year is 1976. You know, it doesn't look like there's any credits here. The Devil Monster. What is it? The giant crab thing here. Lobster Man. Let's hear. John Carter of Mars. There's credits on this with script Callinger and art Zamora Catane, I guess. Yeah, let's save this. We'll like have a fun little walkthrough some other video in the near future. And then I also got this. I had no awareness of this because you demanded it. The all new Swamp Thing. I had no knowledge of this comic even existing. You know, everybody knows, of course, of the Alan Moore run, and then you know of the classic Len Wein run, and then there was the '80s revamp that led into Alan Moore, Marty Pasco, possibly or whatever. But I never knew they tried to bring it back before then. Let's see. Oh, art. Ooh, this might be fun. Artist by Nestor Redondo, writing Jerry Conway. Whoop. Huh? This is from 1976. So, let's see. Oh, yeah. Which is kind of interesting. Looks like it might be kind of fun, perhaps. What is this? Young America for 1976 bicentennial shirt now. Oh my God, what is this? Look at this. Fucking Todd Bridges is the model here. Ha ha ha. All right, there you go. Fucking Todd Bridges. All right. Some more art there. Okay then. All right. So okay. So that's it for the comics. And if you want to cut off the video here, great. Like I said, I've got another video in the can where I do a trade review. I'll probably air that on either, I'll probably upload it like Monday or Tuesday or whatever. If you want to bow out now, great. Thanks. Have a good day. If you want to stick around, okay. You get to see Ed being petty. Okay, so the second part of this video is going to be me responding to a video put up by a YouTuber named Sean James called, something to the effect of dealing with butthurt black comic book fans on CBR. The only reason I don't reply, make a reply on his channel is because he blocked me. Didn't block me for what I'm about to talk about, but I got blocked in the past, and it's not a big deal. Um, you have every right to either block or ignore anybody on social media that you want to. You know what I mean? People are not obligated to, talk to you on social media. They're not obligated to talk to you on Twitter or YouTube or anything. So that's not what this is about. That's not what it's about. At least not what it's entirely about. But like I said, he doesn't want to talk to me, fine. He doesn't have to talk to me. But in this particular video, he's basically replying to, what he says in this video. And you know what? I'll even put a link in, down in the description where if you want to, you can check out his video. Although I will say if you do that, also check out the conversation that that was had on CBR between me and some other people, and also check out this other person's other videos so you know what you're kind of into. But basically, in his video, he responds to the fact that he saw all of a sudden on his blog he was getting a lot of traffic, and he was able to trace that traffic back to comic book resources, where he found out people were talking about him. And I'll admit, the tone of our conversation, his name came up in a conversation, and the tone of it was, oh, that crazy guy again. It was basically in their minorities in comics and other media's thread, which I'm on quite frequently. You know what I mean? Uh, Minorities aren't the only people who contribute to that thread. I know for a fact a lot of white people go on that thread. A few people who are Jewish are on that thread. Few people who have identified themselves as Asian, and people just have, for the most part, uh, pretty civil back and forths about various issues that may or may not affect minorities in media and comics and blah 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 blah. But anyway, like I said, the tone of the conversation was pretty much, oh, Sean James, that crazy guy or whatever. And I admit, on my part, I did bring up the fact that I felt that he has a shocking lack or yeah, a lack of self-awareness and contradicts himself a lot. Basically, on this channel, he'll talk about comics and geek culture and pop culture. A lot of his things are about social things, things going on in the news, things having to do with race and gender, stuff like that. I'd characterize it being nice. I'd characterize it as saying it's quite provocative at times. Being less nice, I think the guy's quite delusional. Anyway, he goes on to say, it's a shame that, these black men are here, talking about me, another black man. I'm trying to do these positive things. Nobody talks to me directly. Why don't they buy any of my books? Oh, that's another thing. He self-publishes his own books, ebooks and things like that. So, okay, fine. But they won't buy that, and they're just mad because I criticize, Marvel Comics and Tanahashi Coates or whatever. So here's my thing. In that video, I think he kind of mischaracterized a couple things about what was going on, and again, he said some kind of crazy things. He says, people are reading Marvel Comics because they want to get, white acceptance or some crazy shit like that. You know what I mean? Basically, to address some of the things he said in the video, um, he says people are talking behind his back. Um, it's a public forum, and I know for a fact that it's kind of the way he said is bullshit, because I know there are people from that particular site who have gone directly to his blog and talked to him. I know there's people who've gone to his videos and talked to him. I've gone to his videos and talked to him myself in the past. Like I said, he's blocked me, and I feel he blocked me because I pointed out where he was being, like I said, contradictory or projecting, some of his foibles onto other people, or sometimes quite kind of hypocritical. You can't paint whole swaths of the population with this broad brush and say, these guys over here, you guys over there, you're why America is failing, you're why the world is terrible, when you're in that same sort of situation or exhibiting those same traits. You know what I mean? It would be like if I came on here and said, yeah, you know what's wrong with YouTube, man? Got all these middle-aged guys talking about this geek culture, and they're indulging in their bad habits, so they're smoking and drinking, and it's just such a bad precedent. And then you say to me, oh, but Ed, don't you like geeky things? You talk about comic books, and you drink beer. You actually show the beer you're drinking on camera. And then I go, harumph. I will not engage in these ad hominem attacks. Harumph. It's like, dude. Okay. Another thing he talks about is how, why somebody won't support him. And he said this before about, comic book fans. He's also said it about, comic book and fantasy fans. He's also said about people who weren't comic book fans, but how come more black militants don't support his book because he's a black man or whatever. I know for a fact, again, that some of the people on that site actually have their own projects. They are trying to do things that are positive and present positive. They have their own projects, comics, novels, other things they're trying to get off the ground, where they are trying to present, positive or alternative images of, minorities and things like that. And I know for a fact there's a lot of people on there, including myself, that might read Marvel comics, might read DC comics, but also do buy a lot of, indie comics and things of that sort, who will say, man, they fucked up Cyborg here, but here's a better depiction of him. Or no, Cyborg as a character is inherently flawed, but here's a better representation of a black superhero or whatever. Or hey, here's this white guy. He's a white guy, but he wrote a good black character. Here's a black person that has their own thing going on. Let's check, have you check this out. So this idea that nobody wants to support minority characters or minority creators is just not true. Um, Having said that, why would somebody who wants to support positive images of minorities or black people or black men in the media, why do I want to spend money on somebody that makes video after video after video that basically denigrates black men, black women, women in general? He takes shot. I don't know if I mentioned it, but Sean James is African American. He takes shot at white people. I think he got he got a YouTube strike against him for some video he did about white people will not take responsibility for their drug use or something crazy like that. Um, Whatever. You can go find it if you want to. I don't have the energy right now, but the point is, yeah, it's one thing to watch a 10-minute video for free, but why am I going to give you money when you stay, messed up stuff? You know what I mean? And then the whole thing about, you're just reading Marvel comics because you want white acceptance, which is like one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. I mean, it doesn't even make any fucking sense. Okay, and answer me this: why is it that you think that, but why is it that you continue to spend money on these Marvel movies? You continue to watch these Marvel TV shows, and you continue to care about what's going on with Marvel staffers and things like that. Um, Yeah, you're spending money on these things. Somehow these people are bad, but you're doing the same thing. Um, that's basically it in a nutshell. What I wanted to reply to. I think there's other things. Well, you know what? I could go on and on why I feel this person is kind of delusional, especially when it comes to, like I said, social issues. Occasionally, he actually will say something that 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 makes sense. That even if I disagree with it, I can see maybe he's got a valid point. Those other things where, like I said, I think he's quite delusional. You could probably say, "Hey Ed, why even watch the guy's videos?" You got me there. I just think sometimes the stuff is so crazy, you know. It's because it's so crazy I end up watching it. But anyway, that's it. So like I said, I'll put the link to his video. His video has a link to the conversation that he was upset about. I would encourage you to go a couple of pages before that to see where the conversation started, because he didn't start there. He started at the page in the middle and then went backwards. You go to the beginning, you can get a better picture of everything that went on. And also, yeah, please check out some of the other stuff that on his channel, some of the videos that he does, so you can get a better, like I said, picture of this person. All right, okay, so that's it. Next week we'll be back to talking about comics. All right.